So last episode, I have to ask,
What?
what is true bliss?
What?
You were saying when we went to Newt, it was true bliss.
True bliss.
I thought you were saying one word, and I was going, what is true bliss?
True bliss is a kind of bicycle tire that you can get.
I guess you said it quickly, and I was very confused, and I spent all week looking up the sources and everything else. So it was true bliss.
If the way I speak worries you,
No, it doesn't.
perhaps it's time for a new partner. I knew we'd never make it to 100. And who knew that true bliss would be the linchpin? Oh, did you want to know what a linchpin is? Look it up. It's in the thesaurus. I think that I might have imbibed a little too heavily at the Bee Gees show.
Why?
I feel it. I'm getting a little cantankerous. And you know what? And maybe it's because I was drinking those high noon grapefruits. That's just my tradition at the Lakeville Center for the Arts, Lakeville's hidden gem.
I wonder what the alcohol content is of those.
4-5%, I bet. Same as a beer. Psychology, man. The more I drink them, I feel like a mad girl in high school because I think that's who drinks those primarily.
Like when we talked about 3.2 and 6.0, they did a study, and when we were growing up, regular 6.0 beer was actually 3.2, and 3.2 beer was closer to like 1.8.
Oh, shut the hell up. Really? Oh, 1.8, not a point, like half of 3.2.
Yes.
I think it meant like 1 point, like wine. Okay, not my bad. I don't know. I know that.
But that's what we brought up about Special Export being closer to the 6.0. And I think Moosehead was like that also, being a Canadian beer, that's what threw me off when I drank it.
Well, for any of our Iowa listeners, and I know there are some, and one, Todd, the Todd father, who was there at the beginning and was offered a spot in the rotation, but Todd from up the street, it grew up in Iowa, and back then, you couldn't get anything but 3.2 beer in Iowa in the 80s.
Wow.
Fun fact.
So it was a half-dry county?
I don't know what the deal was. I thought we poorly described the 3.2 beer thing. The fact of the matter is that Minnesota's a lame state because on Sunday, if you wanted to get beer on Sunday, you had to go to the grocery store to get it because liquor stores were closed. They've since corrected that.
Which I could see both decisions on that because small mom and pop liquor stores then have to hire someone to come in on Sundays.
They don't have, they're not, you can't mandate someone to be open, but they just weren't allowed to be open. So you
can't mandate, but you don't want to lose that traffic.
Suppose. I don't know. Seems like you're a high quality customer. Out of beer on a Sunday.
Well, sports.
Maybe they should just charge a little more on Sundays for
there you go.
Poor planning.
Right.
If you didn't plan well, you're going to pay a little tariff.
Who are we, Jim? And why are we here?
Exactly. Last I checked, we are the Ascertainers. The Ascertainers is two Midwestern gents, Mark.
Hello, everyone.
And Jim. Hi. Who decided to make Friday nights Ascertainer night. And 90, if this one is the one that comes out next week, this will be, you're listening to episode 97. And that's weird. So, yeah, we're just a couple of guys who thought we could do a podcast. It's still not confirmed that we can, but we have a lot of samples for you to choose from. And we talk about mostly just crap and make fun of each other a little bit and tell or makes each other laugh. And then we also talk a little bit about music. And we have an exclusive sponsor, and we have a featured game called the Radio Game. Patent pending, trademark pending, copyright, Ascertainers, LLC.
Why haven't we made it big then?
Inc. Well, compared to podcasts that ever made it past number 10, we've made it big.
Good point.
We're getting paid the same. We're getting charged the same, too. And we get shirts. We're picking up our shirts. We think next week they're done, but they're apparently, I thought they were going to be just in Minneapolis. Old Donnie is up in White Bear Lake.
Yeah, we'll have to work out logistics on
That's
that.
a great Minnesota lake name. There's not many better than White Bear Lake. Titicaca's got to be up there, but it's not in Minnesota.
I like it.
It's like Kobe Bryant. I bet like going there, from what I heard from the court proceedings. So yeah, ascertainers are, that's it. That's all we are. We're not trying to be anything real special. If we can make your week a little better because we said something so unbelievably original and random that nobody else would bother to say, well then you're welcome. And if we didn't, send us an email at theascertainers@gmail.com and tell us how we could do better. We're here for you. Actually, we're not. We're here exclusively for each other. I can't get enough looking into Mark's eyes. And we're starting to sit on the same side of the table, so that's harder to do with, just kidding. We sit across from each other, and we have two other mics, so sometimes we have guests. And you can see when you scroll down our episodes, you can see that we have varied topics, and sometimes we even get to the topic. So speaking of which, tonight's topic is relevant because why, Mark?
We went to a concert at our favorite venue down in downtown Lakeville, the Lakeville Arts Center.
That's Minnesota, by the way.
With the White Bear Lake. And we saw Mick Sterling doing Bee Gees songs. And he had a 16-piece band.
I only counted 14, so.
Well, I was thinking, I thought that I counted 15, and then the sound guy I counted.
Okay. Yeah, so, well, it was advertised as a 16-piece.
I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it was wonderful.
Mark and I, when we go out on the town together, just a couple of graying men, just out together alone.
Does your wife kind of feel like a third wheel sometimes?
Oh, she wishes.
On our dates?
Oh, what? No, I think she likes it. She likes getting out a little bit, and it's, she feels safer with you there for some reason. But no, Mark and I have seen Mick Sterling. I think this is our fourth one.
I think you're correct.
Because I think it was Van Morrison, and then it was Billy Joel, and then it was Elton John, and then the Bee Gees.
Did you go to Crosby? No, you didn't go to Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
No. Glad I didn't.
That was a good concert.
I'm sure it would have been good, because I didn't think... At first blush, I was like, the Bee Gees, really? But then I remember watching that Bee Gees documentary. The Bee Gees have been doing it for... They didn't just show up for Saturday Night Fever. They've got a catalog.
They do.
And they played my two favorites that I wanted to hear. That made me happy. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Do you have any errors and omissions from the last episode? I don't want to drag too hard on this, but...
I don't have any. So
none? God dang it. I feel
Not that I can think of.
Checks out. I don't have any. What do you want to talk about now? We cheated on our sponsor tonight.
We did.
Don't feel great about that, but it was I think we can justify it. I think Newts would understand where we saw the show is 20 minutes from Newt's probably. So we thought it best that we imbibe and go to the show. Which we went to a place a couple blocks north called Lakeville Brewing Company. Shout out, not a sponsor, but if you're not in Apple Valley, because if you're in Apple Valley, you're going to go to Newt's for their lovely burgers,
nice.
Hot Pop popcorn, ice cold beer, frequently good pull tab boxes, not always, only when we're there, are they not good, and then delightful burgers, about 16, 17 of them to choose from, sandwiches, appetizers, good for meat lovers and those who do not imbibe in the flesh, because you can get a Beyond Burger, or Impossible, what do you call it, Beyond Burger?
Beyond Burger.
Yes, so everyone should go to Newt's, even though we set a poor example tonight by not going. But you know what? I think I miss it. I think I've got a little stomach ache from that food at that other place.
Well, you pointed out that I'm more of a Newt's patron because I read the menu poorly.
That was funny.
And because it said tacos, bowl, plus naan. So I thought, well, if you got either the taco or the bowl, you got the naan because it said plus.
Let's start with naan. How you spelling naan?
Isn't it N-A-N?
Naan. It's a type of bread. Like when you just say naan, it could be like short for not. So it could be like a play of words. I'll take the
So this is
chicken bowl.
This is my true bliss.
The chicken. I'll take the chicken bowl naan.
Okay,
and then
Jim.
it's like it turns into opposite day. It's like the reverse card in Uno.
You win again.
And they just bring you a plate. Hey, fuck! You said naan. Wow, the true bliss. You really did? You talk about that on the air yet, or no? I don't think
I did.
Oh, that was already in there?
That was recorded.
Oh, you got to tell me when you're recording. Sometimes I like to toot, and I don't want anyone to hear.
But anyways,
self-conscious.
When the waitress delivered our meal, I said, "Don't I get naan bread?" And Jim had ordered an appetizer hummus with naan bread, and I said, "Doesn't my meal come with naan bread?" Because
server handled it well, because I thought she and I took it the same way. It's like, is this guy fucking with us right now? Because then she goes, "There's none right there," and I was like, "Are you seriously thought that's what that meant? Was there a need for an Oxford comma?" Ooh, my little nipples stiffened when I heard got the ability to say Oxford comma. It said tacos, comma. Bowls
plus.
It didn't say.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I didn't bring my glasses, but I thought it had a plus.
We'll just let that linger for the next time, because their online menu might be different than the one they have in their restaurant. But so you thought you would get a taco plus naan, a bowl plus naan,
correct?
But not a taco or a bowl or naan.
So when I took my driver's test, I walked up to the counter and I said, "This question is worded poorly because it doesn't make sense the way you ask the question compared to all the answers." And they go, "It's B."
Did it involve Middle Eastern bread?
No, it did not.
It didn't. Well, it does now. I think in Minnesota anyway. Hello.
But they gave me the same look as the server.
So you were trying to ace the driver's test, and so it was A was something, B was something, did do it like none of the above or all the above, but not one that
no
said
way they worded
all of
the
these are
question didn't make sense, and I can't remember what the question was.
I think I knew. It was because you're a little older than me. It would have been when you get out of the car to crank the front to start it, you put it in neutral or in gear, and I think it was probably something around that.
Well, when I learned to fly, it was like contact, if you remember that.
Got to go out there and spin it and hope your wiener ain't sticking out. Do you think there's like some really good pilots that got out of the game because they're...
Oh, there were a lot of
said contact
injuries and deaths.
Seriously?
Yes.
Like what? They fell, or what was the main reason for being maimed by the propeller?
Sometimes it kicks back up and you get hurt that way.
Is that because of...
Or when you spin it, like you're doing the big wheel on Price is Right, and people fall and they fall forward into the spinning blade.
Yeah, but they're usually like 80-year-old women. You got a lot of those in the Air Force?
We only use them to start airplanes.
Just because you wore a dress does not make you a woman, or that you're still biologically a male.
More than a woman to you.
What?
More than a woman to you.
Oh.
More than a woman.
Can't get the Bee Gees out of our heads.
No.
We're just Bee Gee fanatics suddenly.
I was embarrassed.
At dinner?
Yes.
You shouldn't have been. I thought we all had a good chuckle. Yes, at your
At my expense, yeah.
But it was not like, you weren't shunned. We still let you sit at the table for most of the meal until we made you go outside.
And then I threw out toast points.
That was good. There, you totally redeemed yourself on that one, because that really had her fucked up. Because she's like, "What? Like you wanted toast points?" And she goes, "Is that just where you cut them in triangles?" And then we all laughed, and she walked away. And then I think she spit in one of our meals. So, geez, you know what? In this economy, even a little spit on a burger's
adds to it.
It does.
You want to go right to the radio game?
I do. Radio game is a little something we do where nobody wins. You go first.
I have another theme tonight.
Oh, well, do tell. I love your themes.
It goes with Garth Hudson, the last surviving member of the band, passed away. He was
he the piano guy or something? I thought
he's not the piano guy, but he was the keyboardist.
Yeah. He was old as F, wasn't he?
Yes.
Big bearded, white-haired guy?
Yes.
Yeah, that must explain why he showed up on my feed.
And there was another piano player, the skinny guy. And you always mention, why do you need two drummers? They had piano player and a keyboardist.
Oh, that I can understand.
Okay,
But
wow.
two drummers I don't understand.
Well, they had two drummers tonight.
Don't start with me on that. If these guys are all, so there's 16, we'll call 14 people that we could count on stage, okay? And there were about, how many people in the crowd? 100?
Yeah, probably about that.
Okay. $4,000 is what was sitting, no, wait a minute. What's $40 tickets? $4,500 at the gate. Now, luckily, it's a taxpayer-funded venue, so there could have been nobody there, and the band was still would have been paid. And he even said when he was introducing it, he goes, "It's a financially impossible model or some irresponsible model." But I'll tell you right now, if that Congo guy, the other percussionist, got paid anywhere near the same as all the other people out there, it's a tragedy. Is that not a Bee Gees song? I think we heard that song.
Number 7. No, we didn't.
Oh, but it was on your list? Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, that your theme is what now?
Well, I went with distinctive keyboard sounds in a song.
You go, girl.
So
What do you got?
I started with the band because Garth, he's the last surviving member of
I
that
can
band.
tell you what one of your 4 is going to be, but you keep going.
And then I'll do Genesis, Abacab.
So with the band and Genesis,
Correct.
and it was the Cripple Creek. It was what he did on the keyboard. That it was like a wah pedal almost on the keyboard. That's what I think I saw. That's what I think I saw. I am Luigi. Oh, you can't say that. Wonder what that guy. When's his trial? Luigi, the guy, the shooter in New York. We're in the radio game. The guy that off the. What's his name? Luigi.
I have no idea.
The cute guy with the eyebrow. Shot the United Health guy.
Oh, I have no idea.
So it's like news is weird. It's like we can't cover anything but one thing, and then
It disappears.
Then LA's on fire, and then it's cold in the south. But they never like follow up on any of this
You're
shit.
right.
What the hell? We should start a news network, you and I. That might be fun. But I mean, you read the paper. All you gotta do is just talk about that stuff, right? That's all the news is. Gotta be okay. My 2 are Whitesnake and the Scorpions. Because they're bands that it's easy to get chicks listening to. There's my theme.
Frankenstein, Edgar Winter Group.
Your winner. Nice.
And then probably never played on, maybe it has been played on KQ, but Soft Cell, Tainted Love. Where Did Our Love Go? 2 songs.
Which is a cover, yes. Also, I thought you were going to say Argent, Hold Your Head Up, because that they play. And that has a distinctive keyboard.
Yes, and I did have a little note about Argent that, okay, we get it. You have a keyboard in the band.
Okay, we get it. Your last name is Argent. Okay, what else? Okay, Jimmy Fallon. You know, you could have named it Fallon if you wanted to. Okay, my other 2, you want to crank on the jukebox?
It is on.
My other 2 are Huey Lewis, With or Without the News, and Badfinger, because we heard them between sets tonight. Well,
and I was talking to the sound guy, and he goes, Badfinger, the only Beatles song that wasn't sung by the Beatles.
Right. That's a good little bar stumper.
And I said, oh, well, they were the first band signed to Apple Records.
Badfinger was signed to Apple?
Yeah, they were the first
really?
band
Did
signed
they share
to
a
Apple.
producer or any other lineage?
One of the Beatles, was it Paul or John, produced the...
You could tell. You could tell there's some kind of Beatles influence beyond kind of stealing their sound, but it's surprising that a Beatle would say, yeah, I'm on board with this. Why not?
I think I hurt the sound guy's feelings by one-upping him.
Yeah? Well, it's a sound guy. It wasn't the first time today that happened. I learned something about the Beatles today. There's a commercial on the radio, by the way. How many years passed from when the Beatles went on the Ed Sullivan Show until they released Abbey Road, their last album? Last studio album or last album.
First time they were on?
For the first time they were on the Ed Sullivan Show. These are the Beatles. Not sure if you heard of them. Paul, Ringo, Ted Nugent, and George.
Wasn't it 64? So it'd be 6 years.
Correct answer is 5. But still, I would have thought it was like 10. Easily. But they really packed a lot of fucking good music into 6 years. Or did they really? They didn't have albums that they came to the States on their first album, yes? Or
No,
they have like 5 over there that nobody listened to until they came
I thought
here?
they had albums over there first, but I'm not sure. That's something we probably could research.
Well, gotta love them.
But that brings up about the Bee Gees that we went and saw tonight.
Quick programming note. The radio game is still going, but there's a marathon block of commercials that we're dealing with. So we'll get back to the radio game after Mark's extremely entertaining.
Well, you brought up that you weren't going to do many of the disco era. We picked a couple songs.
I only have
that
2
were
songs on my list, even though there's a bunch more that I like.
And he said, well, I didn't really cover the disco era. But I think the Bee Gees hit it so well because they packed so many good songs on that one record or that small couple of years. And that's
if you want
a testament to their ability.
The thing, I mean, we're going to talk about the Bee Gees pretty heavily here. I'd love to get this radio game over with so we don't have to interrupt that, because you know how I can't stand distractions and interruptions. It's just really not my bag, man. I'm kidding. I do it all the time.
Here, I'll just do this. And we'll just keep going.
You're going to hotbox it. Mark's hotboxing it. What that means is that he's got a earbud going into his ear with headphones on. So this is my equivalent of what Richard Pryor used to do drugs, where you would light cocaine on fire. And yourself too sometimes.
Yes.
So Mark's hotboxing the radio game. That's good. While we're killing time, do you remember the chiropractor joke I told you?
I don't.
It was about a week back. Get
Nothing.
that joke? I can't believe it. I can't. If you.
Oh, it was a week back. Okay.
People don't laugh at that. Then they just. It's not them. It's me. So.
Is that, I'm going to do the air quotes, a dad joke?
That's Jim on the podcast trying to tell a joke that he laughed at the previous week. And you cannot get a more simple joke than that. Is it a song? I see you're adjusting your nub.
The producer was saying something.
Oh, no, you hear it too? All right. So, all right. Well, I had another one, but I'm not going to say it.
No, go for it.
Do you know the difference between a oral and an anal thermometer?
One tastes bad?
Yep. I'm dead. Come on. Even if I win the radio game, I won't be able to celebrate it at the way that those jokes landed like a thud, like one of your balls in the rock hard sand traps of our now defunct golf course.
This is your out at dinner time. I'm an embarrassment when I'm out at dinner. You're an embarrassment on the podcast.
Why do you think you were an embarrassment at dinner? Because you asked for
I don't
God.
get out much.
I honestly thought you were. See, that's the difference. I thought you were being serious, and I thought you were telling a joke. I was trying to tell a joke, and you're fucking think I'm serious. Damn it! Why? God, I should get Tanya Harding to sponsor our podcast. We should get her out as a guest, or at least get Galooly on or something.
Is he still alive?
I kind of think he wasn't really fit. I don't think he was on Ozempic. I think he was on.
Well, they had the guy who actually did it wasn't Galooly. He was a big guy.
I thought the Galooly was the guy that smacked it, but she had a different husband. She had a husband that was kind of the.
I thought
mastermind.
Galooly was the husband. The Who.
No, it's the Who. What's
the Who? Pinball Wizard.
Son of a biscuit. So the radio game was not. We had no winner on the radio game, so the pot has got to be $70 by now.
It's like 76.
$76.
And I'm doing the likes now. I'm going to put the bing quarter in the jar.
Oh, yeah. We're trying to improve every year of the podcast. This is our 3rd calendar year that we've done this in. Although we've done it we're approaching our 2nd anniversary. This is like a riddle, a story. How is that possible?
Yeah, how is it possible that we're still doing this?
A guy is getting ready to do surgery, and then he said, no, the doctor's my dad, my mom. How's that possible? And then you ever seen those kind of things? It's like the doctor was a woman, and that's preposterous, right? Sorry, Mario. That was a joke. God, I can't win. All right. I'm dead. What was I looking up?
I can't remember now.
I was so toast. How to get a new daughter-in-law. How to patch things up with your daughter-in-law. Fudge. It wasn't about Non. It wasn't about the Who. Fixing errors and omissions. So
Well, we get so many emails, people will probably help us out.
yeah, shirts have been. We're working a strategy to go get the shirts, and then we'll have them, and then we'll go. Well, I guess that didn't change much, but we will be out our budget for shirts, and then we're gonna. Mark and I, one of us has to win the radio game so we can buy more shirts. I like that idea. Yes, we could just take it out of there anytime.
That's true.
But I say we would just wait until somebody wins, see how big it is. And then should we donate it to charity? Maybe we could do that. We could donate it to a charity, or make that charity our next guest, meaning where we keep it in, do a charity.
Down on their
donation.
luck podcasters charity. We would be getting the money
I
back.
gave you a hot meal. That's what I call it.
So as we brought up earlier, we went to the Bee Gees concert tonight.
Hot meal was after that. Sorry.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
Okay.
What was in those high noons?
Vodka and grapefruit.
Very little grapefruit.
Chemicals. I guarantee a lot of chemicals. It tasted kind of weird. So,
Yes, we were at the concert tonight,
yes.
and it brought up about the Bee Gees, and we're going to add our favorite songs. And Jim said pick 4, then he said pick 6 because we might double up.
Yep.
And then
How many did you pick?
I went online and looked at the best of the Bee Gees.
Yeah,
a lot of the older stuff wasn't on there.
You got to hear them too to realize. Oh yeah, I like that one because I know
Correct.
the title. So how many did you put on?
I have 7 here, and then I was going to add one from the concert.
So that'd be 8, and I have 2, so that's the same as 5 each. Sweet. Thanks for bailing me out there. Appreciate you. So what one did you add?
Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's a good song.
A very good song, but it's not one you hear very often. So that's why it wasn't on my list. I can't remember the last time I heard that song.
I heard it when I looked up the greatest hits, and I'm like, I think I know this song. And you got to look pretty hard to find a knock on the Bee Gees, but they have a little bit of a sound. So if you obviously with the voices, but some of their slower songs follow a similar formula, and it's kind of, is that one or is that Massachusetts? Because they're a little bit of that. I thought this blew my mind. You know the song "Lonely Days, Lonely Nights"? Is that on your list?
It is not.
It literally has.
He's counting
10?
on his fingers.
Hold on. I'm doing syllables, though. So let's say it's 10. It's got 20 words in the whole fucking song. 20 unique words. It does good morning, ba-da-da-da, and then it says lonely days, lonely nights, where to be without my woman. It repeats that 4 times. And then it goes back to this. It just repeats the good morning and the lonely days part twice, and it's the whole fucking song. What
But
gives?
it's excellent live.
Yeah, no, it was great. And it had a lot of room for the band to kind of do their little, feature different instrumentalists. But otherwise, it's like, that song is, well, it's vapid, Mark. I don't know what that means even. But it seems like that would be not a good thing, vapid.
It's not a good thing.
Like rapid is good. Vapid?
Well, that was another part of one of the last songs where the keyboard does a sound and they go blah, 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 or making a sound. And I was thinking, well, just listen to the keyboard. You don't have to make.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the one song. God darn it.
Is that Saturday Night?
I don't know. There's one where he kind of does the keyboard with the little wheel, where it does a little bit of a kind of a little, I don't know, fucking heady or REO Speedwagon beginning of Ride the Storm Out kind of thing.
Like a theremin type sound.
but they, he got to do one rail of that. And then by the time they came back to it was during the chorus. then the next two choruses, the chicks were singing over him.
Yeah.
And they were fantastic singers, but I was thinking of the same thing to myself. It's like, I mean, he's over there going, son of a bitch. It's like cowbell. It's like a one fucking song where I feature the cowbell.
I know when you're driving your car, you want to make that noise.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not.
I don't even know the sound. If you hear the song, you'll know.
That's homework. We'll figure that out for, again, next week. So please tune in next week.
So what was your top song?
My top song... I got two. I'm going to give you my second. They played them back to back, but I Started a Joke was one I was very highly anticipating, and I thought it delivered. I thought they did it very well.
Very well. I'm not a big fan of that song. It's a good song.
Well, I think it's in like Zoolander and other movies, and the placement of it is just awesome usually. So. But then after that, and I'm going to tell you, actually you give one because mine, I have a very, 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 very,
wow,
very bold statement to make about your head's going to fucking explode when I say it. So I want you to call your family and let them know where they could come scrape your brains off the wall because Jim said something so mind-blowing that it literally made your head explode.
Can I stop you? Because I really don't want that to happen.
Too late.
Shoot.
I already said it in my head.
Your head did explode.
Timer's going.
Well, then I'll go with my number two. How Deep Is Your Love?
Fanny Be Tender. No, that's a different song altogether, isn't it?
Yes.
But that's the same song. How Deep Is Your Love? Fanny Be Tender with My Love. Okay, it's a little different. A lot of similarities, but How Deep Is Your Love? You like that?
Yes, I do.
I believe that gives me the kind of the reminiscent feel. Like that's a total, like, takes you back in time.
Exactly.
To like an AM radio playing it kind of a thing. More so than other songs of theirs. So, excellent.
Excellent.
Well struck, Garth. I don't think that's what Mike Myers says. So, okay. Can you imagine? I want you to start, you at home or in your car or wherever you...
Should we wait on this? Because we have some time left. If my head explodes...
Yeah,
Can you carry on without me?
Do 2 more years, then I'll do mine. Or do one more, it might not be that. You've seen when I get hyped up for something, most often it falls flat on its face. So I think I'm over.
No, go ahead and do it. I just don't want my head to explode early.
Can you imagine a song so great that even Jimmy Fallon can't fuck it up?
Wow.
That's on Broadway.
That is a good song.
So good. And for some reason, I had in my head that wasn't the title of the song because I kept thinking about when Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake do it on the Barry Gibb talk show on Saturday Night Live. And Fallon does his, classic over. But it was appropriate for the skit or for the sketch to do. He played it, bravo, Jimmy, you win. But anyhow, The Nights on Broadway. I like everything about that song, including Here We Are. I just really sound like Fat Albert, but I didn't get a chance to warm up. My voice needs some tea.
Not a song that stands out to me.
Is it on your list?
It is not.
Wow.
But listening to it tonight, I was amazed listening to it.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
It is.
Makes you want to move.
Was that your number one?
Gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Yeah, I only had 2.
To Love Somebody is my number one.
It's a nice one.
Oh, thanks. Wow.
I like it too. What's the one?
But I don't know the dates of these either.
I don't know how that one really goes, actually. Is that, the one that Dionne Warwick covered, I really liked it. Well, I liked how the vocalist sang it. She was amazing. So the setup was they had total of 14 people, but they had 3 male singers and 2 female singers. And I don't know if they had some kind of an effect for the one in the black, the one closest to the middle. They were both wearing black. But she was like spot on those high notes. So I don't know if there's kind of like a thing you
voice box or
put it through or whatever, but the harmonies were spot on. If you ever get a chance to see anything done by Mick Sterling, he apparently he produces like 20. He used to have a band called Mick Sterling and the Sharps way back in the day. I think he produces like 25 bands is what he said. he has these different local shows and tribute shows for Steely Dan and one other one that he does regularly. And then we've seen him do Van Morrison, Elton John, Billy Joel, Bee Gees, and he sounds like he's going to it sounds like those are kind of his big four.
I would love to hear the Steely Dan.
Steely Dan. It's just out of the chart house. Wednesdays and Thursday nights. We'll go.
We should have walked up to him and demanded he comes to Lakeville Arts Center to do Steely Dan. And we'd mention him on the podcast.
Yeah. I hear the non is tremendous at the chart house, so we'll get you some non-points. How about that? Huh? That's worth a trip. So,
but going back, I don't know the dates. I don't know what songs were off Saturday Night Fever album and what were, like, Massachusetts was in the 60s.
Yeah, that was like that, and I started a joke, we're probably in the late 60s. Even though their catalog goes all the way back to 64, the year of my birth.
But To Love Somebody, I don't think that was on.
Picture that song. It's a pretty downbeat song, isn't it? It's like a Robin or a Maurice song.
To love somebody, to love somebody.
Keep going. Da, da, da. Chicka-cha, chicka-cha.
I don't know.
There was one, I don't know what song it is. It might have been, it might be Nights on Broadway. It is. It's Nights on Broadway, where there's all this, like Barry Gibbing going on. Like that I used to not like that. That was more of a bug than a feature when I was a kid, how they would always kind of throw in just out of nowhere, they would throw a little high-pitched noise in there. But the one tonight, she sounded like she was getting ready to sneeze, like imitating Barry Gibb starting to sneeze. So we go,
oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
And she even put her hand over the mic like she was going to sneeze a couple of times.
It was something else. It was a good show. So you take, I've always said that what makes you successful is you gotta have good songs. And the Bee Gees,
yeah, they were
for themselves, for others. They had, so there was a Dionne Warwick song, which I wish I could remember the name of it. If you look up Dionne Warwick, Bee Gees, you'll find it. But they also did Islands in the Stream, Kenny Loggins and I believe Dolly Parton. Great song, but the kind of the Bee Gees dressing on that cover. And then they had a country one. It was called Don't Forget to Remember or something like that. To me, it sounded like, because he said that the Bee Gees, made it sound like the Bee Gees never performed it, but it was a country song. So it felt like a George Jones song.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to say who sang it.
When the library's open on Monday, I'll go look it up.
But that goes back to being good songwriters. They have other songs that they wrote and handed out.
And you know what I'm going to say next, right?
Samantha's song.
Well, the artist is called Samantha Sang, and the song is Emotion. And if you want to win a bar bet, there's like 3 songs you can bar bets on. Badfinger, what is it called? Want You. So I think it's called Want You. Sounds just like the Beatles. King Harvest, Dance in the Moonlight. Many would say sounds like Van Morrison. And then Samantha Sang, the song is called Emotion. And the Bee Gees are all over. I mean, the Bee Gees sing the song, but she has like the lead vocal, and she gets credit for the song. So if you want to get the shit beat out of you in a bar, go ahead and challenge somebody to whether or not the Bee Gees sing that one, and then try to collect. You'll get fucking shivved. Pardon my language, people. I know this is
or ask for non-bread.
Yeah, that would be a tie for the biggest ass kicking you'll ever see. But there was one other. Oh, the Grease soundtrack. Barry Gibb, his fingerprints are all over it. I knew I'd get a chance to mention Grease. I either mentioned Grease or Rush on every one of these. Oh, I guess I just mentioned both.
But I have Night Fever. I think that's a good song.
Very good song.
Jive Talkin', just because it's kind of different than what the
Jive Talkin' is a ballsy tune. Think about it. Like, that's a very, almost a departure even for because I think that was pre-disco.
Again, I don't know the dates of
That's the one. That's the keyboard part. Sorry, I did it. I did the sound. It just came out of me organically. And then
that was perfect, though.
Yes. Welcome to the Ascertainers, your mouth keyboard imitator guys. I've not even had a sip of this yet. I'm so full of high noons.
More Than a Woman?
I thought you already said that one.
I didn't. I was just joking around that I was more than a
Which
woman.
was the one that I said reminds me of the AM radio?
That was How Deep Is Your Love? It's like listening to techno music. Sometimes
Right, yeah.
they meld
so
together.
I think that those seemed like the same song to me. They were a little not so subtle in some of their, song titles. How Deep Is Your Love?
I didn't get that from that. That people used to say that as a phrase.
How deep is your love?
Yeah.
You know where they used to say that? In the yard at the state, the federal high security prison. How deep is your love? It's too deep. Guard!
Is that how you get the high voice?
I bet. I'm going to take a wild guess.
How
Say,
deep is your love?
Yeah. Oh, I sure hope those kids weren't Catholic. I mean, if it was God-given talent, that's one thing. But if it was priest-given talent, that's a whole other thing. I read the papers. Come at me, Catholics. Don't deny it.
My next song is Too Much Heaven.
Nobody gets too much heaven. Yes, that. And what was the song? The last one, though? They did a couple of Andy Gibb, a little A Gibb. Shadow Dancing. It's a pretty solid tune. What was the one that you didn't like about doing it in the something?
Doing the back? We Should Be Dancing.
You should be dancing. And you say it says do it in the back?
I wasn't going to bring that up. That was off air.
Backpedaling so hard.
Not on air stuff.
Because
that embarrasses me.
sometimes you go in the back of the house and do it. But, are you thinking How Deep Is Your Love in that or the same album, perhaps? Maybe one kind of get you ones before the other, if you know what I mean.
We were in the space.
You thought we were in the Tree of Trust?
Yes.
So we were in the parking lot of ice. It was not the same thing. It's a different thing altogether. And you started it.
T-shirts are on their way. Get a hold of us at TheAscertainers@gmail.com. You can also text us on any platform you listen to us on, if that works on whatever one you're using. And we do have a Facebook page.
I think most of you are going to know whether or not you have a T-shirt coming your way. There's a list. I can't really, it doesn't make sense to say them on the air because people will feel bad if they're not on the list, but they'll also figure out if they don't have a shirt in a couple of weeks.
What do you like, Nixon?
If you've ever been a guest of the show, if you've ever been a contributor to the show via email, or if you are a sponsor of the show, you'll be getting T-shirts. If you don't get one, but you'd like one, we could probably work out a pretty good deal for you because we're not trying to make money on these. We're not even trying to recoup money on these.
It's nice that you guys get to hear, as listeners, the background of how to produce a podcast and how we organize our guests.
Yeah, do you think maybe this should be off air?
Maybe.
Should we get a whiteboard? Say it. Say whiteboard again.
Say it.
Does he look like a dry erase board? No. Then why are you trying to make me get one? Put it on my wall. All right. Well, I'd like to thank both listeners. You know who you are. And tune in. They say that once you get past 100, it's just effortless, just gold. So we're kind of, it's like the roller coasters.
Are we actually putting effort into this?
We're ascending. We are ascending and ascertaining at the same time. But once we're done ascending, we're just going to
coast.
It's going to be a mad, a lot of screaming, some vomit, and maybe some hearing loss. So stick around for that, kids. But thanks for listening.
Goodbye, everyone.